Hari Om. There was some net problem. Sorry for the interruptions. So let us begin with the Shanti Mantra again. Om Apyayantu Mamangani Vak Pranaschakshushrotramatho Balamindriyani Cha Sarvani Sarvam Brahmopanishadam Maham Brahma Nirakuryam Ma Brahma Nirakarot Anirakaranamastva Nirakaranam me astu Tadatmani Nirateyo Upanishatsu Dharmaha Te Mai Santu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So this Upanishad begins with this Shanti mantra, wherein the teacher and the student together pray for peace. So let there be peace from within, let there be peace in the surrounding, let there be peace at the cosmic level, so that we can sit peacefully and study this Upanishad. Even when there is this disturbance because of these net issues, we cannot study properly the Upanishad. So let everything be free of all trouble and all obstacles. So here the teacher and the student together are also praying that may my limbs be strong and powerful and well nourished. May my karmendriyas and jnanendriyas be strong, healthy, well nourished. Everything is Brahma, Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam. The Brahma which is revealed in the Upanishad alone is everything and everyone. So in order to realize this Brahma, may I not disown Brahma. May I not have lack of faith in the existence of Brahma. And may Brahma not disown me. So Maham Brahma Nirakuryam, Mama Brahma Nirakarot, Anirakaranamastva Nirakaranam me astu. May there be mutual acceptance between me as a jiva and Brahma. Tadatmani nirateya upanishatsu dharmaha te mai santu, and all the qualities which are required to follow this path, spiritual path, and attain that supreme Brahma, like Vivek, Vairagya, Shamdamadisham, Sampatti, Mumukshutvam. These qualities reside in me. Te mai santu, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We have seen the 6th chapter of Chandogya Upanishad, wherein there is a story of Shvetaketu, Uddalaka Muni. So Shvetaketu, though he had become, He had grown to be 12 years old. Still, he had not begun his study of the Vedas, of Dharma. So his father asked him, told him that in our family no one has remained uneducated. You should also not do such things. You should go to a teacher and learn. So we have seen Shvetaketu goes to a teacher, he stays there for 12 years. He learns all that is taught by his teacher. He was a very good student, a bright, brilliant student. He could master all that was taught. And when he returned home, he was very arrogant, very proud that I have learnt everything. I know everything. So his father asked him whether he has gained the knowledge of that one thing, knowing which everything becomes known. Shvetaketu had learnt about many things, but his father is asking about that one thing, knowing which everything becomes known. And Shvetaketu realized that he has not gained this knowledge, so he requests his own father to teach him. And then the father, giving the example of the clay and the pots, indicates that many pots and different items are made from clay. You may know all the pots, you may know all the other items like tiles and bricks. But if you don't know clay, then your knowledge is incomplete. Similarly, if we know everything about this world, but we don't know that Brahma, then our knowledge is incomplete. So the teacher reveals that Supreme Brahma. In the beginning, he says, this world which we see in front of us, which has many forms and many different names. Once upon a time, this world was only, it existed only as Sat. It was only Sat. Sadeva Swami Nikhilananda Saraswati. Sat alone was there in the beginning. Sat means pure, that existence alone, without all these names and forms. And from that Sat alone, this whole world has come into existence. That Sat alone pervades everything. All the world and all the beings are pervaded by that Sat Brahma alone. And finally, the teacher gave the example of deep sleep to reveal the Pratyekatma, our innermost self. Every day when we go to sleep, we become one with that Sat Brahma. In deep sleep, in dreamless sleep, we are one with Sat Brahma. That I, who existed in deep sleep, is called the Pratyekatma, the innermost self. Which alone is experienced as I in our waking and in our dream, which is also indicated as Kshetrajna in Bhagavad Gita, as Purusha, as Jiva. That I, that Pratyagatma is indicated as Brahma. So the teacher tells Shvetaketu that you, that Pratyakatma, you are Brahma, Tattvamasi. Tattvamasi Shvetaketu. You are that Sat Brahma. And Shvetaketu had many doubts. So he kept on asking to clarify his doubts. And the teacher clarified all his doubts and repeated this Mahavakya Tattvamasi 9 times to reveal the identity of that Sat Brahma and Shvetaketu. So finally, Shvetaketu could comprehend this. Shvetaketu iti tadha hasya vijatnyam iti. Shvetaketu could finally understand and realize that I am that Sat Brahma. So thus we had seen this 6th chapter. But there are certain doubts and certain questions which may arise in our mind. And in order to remove those doubts, the Upanishad begins with this 7th chapter. So in the 6th chapter, the teacher had shown the identity of Atma and that Sat Brahma. But it was also indicated that everything is expression of that Sat Brahma alone. This whole world and all beings are expression of that Sat Brahma alone. Everything is the vikar of Sat Brahma. So what are all these factors which make up this whole world? And how to understand this whole world also as that Sat Brahma, as Brahma. Also when Shvetaketu, or when it is indicated that you are that Sat Brahma, we might have a doubt that maybe there is something more, there is something other than this Brahma, which I have to understand, which I have to know. So in this chapter, in the 7th chapter, all those doubts gets clarified. This 7th chapter is the same Brahma Tattva is revealed through a dialogue between sage Naradji and sage Sanat Kumar. So Naradji, who is the son of mind-born son of Brahmaji, the Creator, approaches his own brother, Sanat Kumar. Sanat Kumar is also a mind-born son of Brahmaji. So Naradji approaches Sanat Kumar and requests him to teach him Brahma Vidya. So after listening to his request, the teacher asked Naradji that you have come to gain this knowledge. Before I can teach you, please tell me what you know already, what knowledge you have, so that I can reveal the thing which is beyond that. And that is how this Upanishad begins. So let us chant the first mantra of this Upanishad and then also read the introduction given by Bhagwan Sri Adi Shankaracharya. Because to understand, comprehend this Upanishad, we need the support of this Bhashya of Bhagwan Sri Adi Shankaracharya. So let us chant the first mantra. Om Adihi Bhagava Iti Upasasada Sanat Kumaram Naradaha Tagam Hovacha Yad Vettatena Nopasida Tatasta Urdhvam Vakshamiti Sahovacha. The Upanishad begins with the beautiful mantra Om. Om is the very sar, the very essence of all the Vedas. In Gita also Bhagavan says, Pranavas Sarva Vedeshu. I am the Pranava, the Om in all the Vedas. So Om Adhihi Bhagavah Iti. So Naradji approaches the teacher and requests him that Adhihi Bhagavah, O Bhagwan, please teach me. This is the way of approaching and requesting the teacher with all humility, with all seriousness, sincerity. Naradji approaches his own brother, Sanat Kumar, and requests him to teach him. Adihi Bhagava iti ha upasasada Sanat Kumaram Naradaha. So he approached Sanat Kumar. Naradji approached Sanat Kumar. Then Sanat Kumar asked him, Ha uvacha yad vetta tena nopasida. That you approach me after telling me what you already know, what you have already gained, what you know about this supreme truth, or whatever knowledge you have, you first reveal that to me. So tatastha urdhvam vakshamiti, and I will tell you what is beyond that. So Naradji then reveals all that which he has learned. And when we see the list, it is very, very impressive. I don't think there is anyone who is so much literate, so much educated as Naradji. So he gives a long list, and in his list, all these Vedas are there, then the various branches of Vedas, the Puranas, the Itihas, the Chanda, the Nirukta, the Jyotisha, and so many other Vidyas. All the list Naradji gives. And after listening to the list, the teacher tells him that what you have learned, what you have gained, all this knowledge which you have gained, they are all just name. You have just collected names. And then the teacher says, you meditate on that Brahma, on this name itself as Brahma. Thereafter, again, Naradji inquires, is there anything subtler than name? The teacher says, yes. Words are subtler, speech is subtler than name, vak. Then again, when he reveals that, Naradji inquires whether there is anything subtler than vak. Then the teacher says, manaha. So in this way, from gross to the subtle, the teacher reveals many factors. So mana, sankalpa, chitta, dhyana, vijnana, balam, annam, apa, teja, akasha, smara, asha, prana. And thereafter, the teacher reveals that supreme reality as Bhuma. Bhuma means that which is infinite. So the infinite Brahma is revealed here. And it is revealed systematically starting from the gross name, going at a subtler and subtler level, and finally revealing that Brahma as Anantam, as Bhuma. In the 6th chapter, Brahma is revealed as Sat. In this chapter, Brahma is revealed as Bhuma, Anantam. Not that it is a different Brahma. Brahma is one only. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. So very beautifully, very systematically, that supreme truth is revealed in this chapter. It's a very fascinating chapter. Since we are starting after a long gap, we have to slowly and steadily enter this chapter and understand its beauty. So let us read Bhagavan Shankaracharya's introduction. In this introduction, Shankaracharya tells us the main theme of this 7th chapter, that why it was necessary to reveal this chapter. So let us read the Bhashya. So Shankaracharya says, कि परमार्थ तत्व उपदेश प्रधान परः षष्ठो अध्यायः. That the 6th chapter was mainly to reveal that supreme Brahma as Sat, and that was revealed by indicating the identity of that Sat Brahma with Atma, with that Pratyagatma. Sadatma ekatva nirnaya parataya eva upayuktaha. It was used to understand the identity of our own innermost self with that Sat Brahma. We can meditate and understand our own innermost self, which is different from the gross body as well as the subtle body, which remains separated from all the upadhis in Sushupti Avastha, because it is actually different from the gross body and the subtle body, which is present even now in the waking. That Pratyagatma is Brahma. So we understand this and we meditate on this truth and gain that abidance. Actually, this itself is enough to give us that enlightenment. But there are those who might have certain doubts. When we close our eyes and meditate that I am Brahma, I feel nice, I feel happy, I feel convinced. But when I open my eyes and I look, I see the world again. I see this vast world which is constantly modifying, constantly changing. I see many beings. So I may have this doubt in my mind that what are all these things? Is there anything other than Brahma? So na satah arvak vikara lakshanani tattvani nirdisthani iti atah tani namadini kramena nirdishya tadvarena api bhumakhyam niratishayam tattvam nirdeshyami iti shakha chandra darshanavat iti imam saptamam prapathakam arabhate. So the Shruti feels that all the tattva, which is the different modification, different expression of that Brahma, was not indicated clearly in the 6th chapter. So in order to reveal those tattvas and through them in a very step-by-step way, the Shruti wants to indicate that Supreme Brahma. And Shankaracharya gives a very beautiful example. He says, Shakha Chandra Darshanavat iti imam saptamam prapathakam arabhate. Like indicating the moon by showing the branch of a tree. See, as I said, that so many expressions are revealed in this chapter about Brahma, starting from Nam, name, all the way to Prana. Though they are expressions of Brahma as expressions, we see different forms having different names, but their essence is Brahma alone. So we have to shift our attention from the names and forms and understand that Brahma I hope you are understanding. So let us take this example of this pot. What is this? Actually, when we ask what is this, we can say it is clay. But we can also say that this is a pot. We say this is clay, which is a proper, true statement. And to say this is a pot, this is also a proper, true statement. But they are different statements. How can both the statements be true? This is a clay, this is a pot. They are two different sentences. How can they be both true? So when we say a pot, what exactly do we mean? Actually, a pot is also clay only in a particular shape. Clay in a particular shape is called pot. Clay itself in a particular shape is called pot. But that shape is actually of this clay only. So the shape is not different from clay. And that name pot, though it is of that pot, but it is also not different from clay. The name pot is also another name of clay. But for Vyavahar, we use the term pot. Suppose we want to talk about filling this pot with water. We don't say we fill the clay with water. We say we fill the pot with water. Again, some other item made up of clay, let us say a brick is there. And if that brick falls on this pot, the pot breaks. So brick is there which is used for some different purpose. We use bricks to construct a house. We use pots to fill water. So their utilities are different, their shapes are different, their names are different. And there are those who know everything about the shape and everything about the names. We say he is a very knowledgeable person. But that person may not know the clay. In the same way, this whole world, there are so many factors in this world. And all the different factors have different names. And all of them are having their own utility, their own expressions. They have their own expressions, they have their own utility. But essentially, all of them are that Supreme Brahma alone. So, at times when we are focused on only the names and forms, we fail to understand Brahma. A person may know a form and a person may know the name of that form and still may not know the essence of it. I may know the name of this object as pot, I may understand the shape of this object, but still may be unaware that it is clay. But in my Vyavhar, I will use the name pot and I will utilize the pot object also for my Vyavhar, for my dealings, for my interaction, without knowing that it is clay. In the same way, one may have knowledge about everything in this world. One may be very knowledgeable and will be able to do all Vyavhar in this world, but still may not know the essence of this world as Brahma. Same thing is indicated here when Naradji approaches his teacher. He gives him the list of all the knowledge which he has acquired. And in that we have seen a very, very wonderful list of things which he knows. But then Naradji says that though I have gained all this knowledge, but still I am not happy. Still there is grief in my antakarana. And I have heard that only when we gain self-knowledge, we can transcend all grief. Shokam tarati atmavita. Only a person who has gained self-knowledge transcends all grief. So we may have acquired a lot of knowledge of this world, but if we don't recognize that Brahma, then our knowledge is incomplete. But the interesting thing is that in every form of this world, in every name of this world, we can recognize that Brahma. There are certain forms and certain expressions which are very gross, and there are certain expressions which are very subtle. But in all of them, we can recognize that Brahma. So Brahma being very, very subtle is revealed very systematically from taking the grossest element and slowly going at a subtler and subtler level. Shankaracharya gives the example of Shakha Chandra Darshanavat. For example, we want to show a person the beautiful crescent moon in the sky. The beautiful moon is there, a crescent moon. It's a dark night. And we want to show that moon to a person who is not used to looking at the sky, who is only, his vision is limited to seeing things around. So directly, if that moon is shown, he will not be able to comprehend, he will not be able to see that moon. So the teacher who wants to show him the moon first shows him the tree which is there in front. He says, look at the tree. He shows the tree as the moon. He says, that is the moon. Then he shifts the attention from the tree to only the trunk of the tree. Then from the trunk he shifts the attention to one of the branch of the tree. Says, look at that branch. Then from the branch he shift the attention to only a tiny little branch going upwards. And then there are those leaves. So he says, look at those leaves. Those two leaves are there. And then from the two leaves, he tells the person, you look in between the two leaves. Just look in between the two leaves. Shift your attention from both the leaves and look in between. And then he sees something shining, beautiful. He says that is the moon. Similarly, here in this chapter, starting from the gross, that is Nama, going all the way to subtler and subtler to the Prana, the teacher indicates the subtlest Brahma, Bhuma, the infinite. So in the most fascinating, most beautiful way, the truth is revealed. So we will see more about this in our class on Wednesday. Today there was a little bit of disturbance in the beginning because of this net issue. So we will continue with this study of this chapter in our class on Wednesday. So till then, you take care, be happy, safe, peaceful, healthy. Do your work, do your sadhana, and see you again on Wednesday. Hari Om. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 Jaya Jaya Ram. Jaya Jaya Ram. Boli Siyavar Ramchandra Bhagwan ki Jai. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om.